The question might be asked, why would someone have Homer's Odyssey in the original Greek? Why would someone have Thucydides in the original Greek? Why would somebody collect original manuscripts of the New Testament and fragments from around the world? Why would someone like me go out of his way to have a copy of Eusebius's church history printed in Paris in the year 1568 or something like that? Why would I have collections of Greek dialogues and texts from the classical period, from both the 7th century BC, the 5th century BC, the classical period, and up through the 1st and 2nd and 3rd and 4th centuries AD, and even Procopius into the 6th century? Why would I collect these books if I wasn't going to read them? This is for a little bit of midnight humor. This is Lucian's dialogue, The Ignorant Book Collector. And I'm reading this for those who are interested in not just collecting ancient Greek, but reading ancient Greek. And I'm going to read it in English as well. The Ignorant Book Collector. Truly, what you are doing now is the reverse of what you're aiming for to do. Kemin anan dion estin u athelis onin piis. You expect to get a reputation for learning by zealously buying up the finest books. But the thing goes by opposites and in a way becomes proof of your ignorance. E mengar en peithia ke aftosina ti doxin, spudhi sin no numenos ke carlistaton viblion, to the si perita cato curi, ke alicos gignita tis apidevsias post tuto. Indeed, you do not buy the finest, you rely upon men who bestow their praise hit and miss. You are God send to the people that tell such lies about books, and a treasure trove ready to hand to those who traffic in them. Malis de ude ta kalista oni alapi stevis tis os etiken apinusi ke ermeon e ton ta tiafta epipsevdomenon tis viblias ke thisavros etimos tis capilis of tone. Why, how can you tell what books are old and highly valuable, and what are worthless and simply in wretched repair, unless you judge them by the extent to which they are eaten into and cut up, calling the bookworms into council to settle the question? E pothengarsi diagnona thinaton, tina men Πολλά ke polu axia, tina the favla ke alos sapra, imito diavevrosta ke katekekofte afta tekmerio ke simvulus, tus seas epitin exetasin parlamvanis. As to their correctness and freedom from mistakes, what judgment have you, and what is it worth? Epi tu acrivus ke asphalus and of tis ke pia diagnosis. Yet suppose I grant you that you have selected the very editions Delux that were prepared by Calinus or by the famous Atticus with the utmost care. In the sea, though, of ta ekina kekrikena, osa okalinos, iskalos, o idimos atikos, sin epimelia, tipasi agrypson, si Theophilos, O Thaumasia. What good, you strange person, will it do to you to own them when you do not understand their beauty and will never make use of it one whit more than a blind man would enjoy beauty in favorites? To ktematos ute idoti to kalos of tone ute chrysomeno pote uthen malon e tiflosan tis apolavsia kalus pedicon. To be sure, you look at your books with your eyes open, and quite as much as you like, and you read some of them aloud with great fluency, keeping your eyes in advance of your lips. See the ane ogmenis men tis ophthalmis uras ta Biblia ke ni dia kat koros ke anagignoskis enya pani epitrechon phanondos tu ophthalmutos doma. But I do not consider that enough unless you know the merits and defects of each page, each passage and their contents, unless you understand what every sentence means, how to construe the words, what expressions have been accurately turned by the writer in accordance with the canon of good use, and what are false, illegitimate, and counterfeit. Udhapo the tuto mi ikanon, in mi ivis tin aratin kekakian kastu ton egegramenon kesiniis ostis menonus sympasin tis the itaxis ton onomaton osote prosto orthon canonato syngraphi ikrivote ke osa kivdila ke notha ke paras ke komena. Come now, do you maintain that without instruction you know as much as we? Tiun, feast. Ke tafta mimathon imin ivena? How can you? Unless, like the shepherd of old, you once received a branch of laurel from the muses. Pothen, imi pota paraton muson, clona daphnis, Cathaper opimin akinon lavon. Helicon, which the goddesses are said to haunt, you never heard of, I take it, and your haunts in your boyhood were not the same as ours. Elikonomengar, ina the atrivine e thea, legunda uda akikawa sime puta, uda tas of tas, the atrivas, imin and pesin epiu. That you should even mention the muses is impious. See the memnista muson anosion. They would not have shrunk from showing themselves to a shepherd, or herd-bitten hairy man displaying rich tan on his body, but as for the like of you, in the name of your lady of Lebanon, dispense me for the present form, giving a full description of you in plain language. Kinagar pi many men uk on oknisan fanina sklero andri ke dasi ke polin ton ilion epitosomati em phenondi io dasi ke mi prostis li vanitidos office and to parondi to mi simbada saphosipin. They would never have gained, I'm sure, to have come near you, but instead of giving you laurel, they would have scourged you with myrtle or sprays of mallow and would have made you keep your distance from those regions so that you do not pollute either Olimo Olmios or Epocrene, whose waters only thirsty flocks or the clean lips of shepherds may drink. Udangis ginesta poton ev eth oti ixiosan alandi tis edaphnis mirina an ek malachis philis mastigusa apilaxan anton tiuton osmi mian mite ton ol mion mitatin tu ibukrinin aper epimenes dipsosin epimenon stomasi katharis potima. No matter how shameless you are and how courageous in such matters you would ever dare to say that you have an education, or that you ever trouble yourself to associate intimately with books, or that so-and-so was your teacher and you went to school with so-and-so, you expect to make up for all that now by one single expedient, by getting many books. On that theory, collect and keep all the manuscripts of Demosthenes that the orator wrote with his own hand, and those of Thucydides that were found to have been copied likewise by Demosthenes 8 times over, and even all the books that Sulla sent from Athens to Italy. What would you gain by it in the way of learning, even if you should put them under your pillow and sleep on them, or should glue them together and walk about dressed in them? A monkey is still a monkey, says the proverb, even if it has birth tokens of gold. Although you have a book in your hand and read all the time, you do not understand a single thing that you read. But you are like the donkey that listens to the lyre and wags his ears. Ketiude ke pani neskinos ke andrios ke tiafte tolmisia an putepin os epidefthis emelisesi popote tis en cro prosta Biblia sinusias os didaskalos siodina itodini sinaphitas al enituto moni panda akina an adramista nin elpizis. Toktastha Πολλά Βιβλία, kata the tafta, akina echa, silavon tatu demosthenus, osa ticheri tiaftu oritor egripsa, ketatu thukidiu, osa paratu the mosthenus, keafta, oktakis, metagegramena evrethi, ke olos apanda akina osa osilas athenithan is Italian sinegripsa tian pleon ectuto is pedian ctiseo kan ipo valomenos afta epikathevthis is syncolisas ke perivalomenos perinostis Pithekos, garopithekos, parimia thisi concretia echi symbola. Kesi tini biblion men echis anticheri canagnoskis ai ton the anagignosko men non ista uden al onos liras acuis ki non taota. If possessing books made their owner learned, they would indeed be a possession of great price, and only rich men like you would have them, since you could buy them at auction, as it were, outbidding us poor men. In that case, however, who could rival the dealers and booksellers for learning, who possess and sell so many books? But if you care to look into the matter, you will see that they are not much superior to you in that point. They are barbarous of speech and obtuse in mind like you. Just what one would expect people to be who have no conception of what is good and bad. Yet you have only 2 or 3 books which they themselves have sold you, while they handle books day and night. What good then does it to you to buy them unless you think that even the bookcases are learned because they contain so many of the works of the ancients? Os ige to kektiste ta Biblia ke Απαιδεύτον ton echonda Poluano alithos tokdima on axion ke mononimon ton plusio osper ex agoras in priastatus penitas imas hypervalondas tis emporis ke tis viblio capilis irisen an peripevias to softa Biblia echuse ke polusin ala ige dialechin ethelis opsi mid acinus polisu ta ispedian aminus alavavarus men tinfonim ospersi axinatus the tignosi osus ekos inatus mi then ton colon ke estron ka therakotas ketisi men dioitria parafton ekinon priamenos ekis either nictor ke methimeran the echiros akusin of ta Tinos un agatho oni tafta imi ke tas apothekas aptas ton biblion igi pevevsta tosafta periacusus paleon andron singramata. Answer me this question, if you will, or better, as you are able to answer, nod or shake your head in reply. If a man who did not know how to play the flute should buy the instrument of Timotheus or that of Ismenias, for which Ismenias paid 7 talents in Corinth, would that make him able to play? Or would it do him any good to own it, since he didn't know how to use it as a musician would? You did well to shake your head. Even if he obtained the flute of Marsyas or Olympus, he could not play it without previous instruction. And what if a man should get the bow of Hercules without being a Philoctetes, so as to be able to draw it and shoot straight? What do you think about him? That he would make any showing worthy of an archer? You shake your head at this too. So of course, with the man who does not know how to steer and one who does not practice riding, if one should take the helm of a fine vessel, finely constructed in every detail, both for beauty and for seaworthiness, and the other should get an Arab or a centaur or a copabrand, each would give proof, I have no doubt, that he did not know what to do with his property. Do you assent to this? Take my advice now and assent to this also. If an ignorant man like you should buy many books, would he not give rise to jibes at himself for his ignorance? Why do you shrink from assenting to this also? To do so is a clear giveaway, I maintain, and everybody who sees it at once quotes that obvious proverb, what has a dog to do with the bath? Ke mi I doki apokrine, malon the epituto si adinaton, Epinevson gun ananevson pros ta erotomena. Etis avlin me epistamenos ctisato tus Timotheu avlus etus isminiu. Us epta talandon o isminias en Corintho eprieto, aron diatuto ke avlin dinato, iu then ophalos of to ktematos uk epistemeno crisis the kata tin technin. Evge anenovsas uthegar tus marciu e olimbu tisamenos of Lycian on me mathon. Tida itis tu Heracleus ta toxa ctisato me philoctitis on os dinasta entinastate afta ke episcopa toxavsa. TC ke utos doki. Aron epidixasta ti ergon toxotu axio. On nfsas ke tuto. Kata tafta the keoki vernas uki those ke ipevin me memeletikos iomen nav nakalistin parlavi. Tis pacing kes Carlos ke is asphelion kalista exergus meni. O the epon ctisato methon. E centavrivin, e copaphoron, le elecitoanimi, ecateros uki thos, oti crisato ecatero, epinev is ke tuto, pithu the ke tuto me epinevson, etis osper si Apαιδεύτος on onito Πολλά Βιβλία schomata utos e apαιδεύσιαν καθ' αυτού εκφέρει. Τι οκνείς και τούτο επινεύει, ελεκος γαρ ημις σαφείς ούτως και τον ορόντον έκαστος αυτής το προκυρώτατον εκείνο επί thegata. Ti kini ke valanio. Not long ago, there was a rich man in Asia, both of whose feet had been amputated in consequence of an accident. They were frozen, I gather, when he had to journey through the snow. Well, this, of course, was pitiable, and to remedy the mischance, he had wooden feet made for him, which he used to lace on, and in every way made swift to walk, leaning upon his servants as he did. But he did one thing that was ridiculous. He used always to buy very handsome sandals of the latest cut, and went to the utmost trouble to regard to them, in order that his timber toes might be adorned with the most beautiful footwear. Now, are not you doing the exact same thing? Is it not true that although you have crippled fig wood understanding, you are buying gilt buckskins, and even a normal man could hardly get about in? Και γενετο tis, u pro polu en asiu. Pusios anir ek symphoras, apotmithis tus podas symphoterus. Apokrius ime, aposapendas, epidipote diakionos, odi porisa sinevi afto. Utos tinin, tuto men elion epiponzi, ke therapevon tin the stichian silinus podas pepito, ke tutu sipo luminos evadizen epi stirizomenos ama tis icetes. Ekinu de gelion epii Kripidas gar kalistas eonito neotmitus ai ketin plistin pragmatian peritoptas ichen os kalistis ipodimasi ke kosmimeni I auto taxila u tafta un ke sipis holin menechon ke sikinin tin gnomin O umenos de Christus emvatas is molisantis ke artipus emperipatician. As you have often bought Homer among your other books, have someone take a second book of his Iliad and read it to you. Epidhentis alis ke ton omiron prio polakis anagnotasi tis aftu lavon tin thefteran tis iliados rapsiothion. Do not bother about the rest of the books, for none of it applies to you. But he has a description of a man making a speech as utterly ridiculous as an utterly ridiculous fellow, warped and deformed in body. Iste men ala mi extoxin uthengar afton prose. Pe piitethetis afto thimigaron por gelios anthropos theasterphos tosoma ke lo vimenos. Now then, if that man Thersites should get the armor of Achilles, do you suppose that he would thereby at once become both handsome and strong? That he would leap the river, redden its stream with the Trojan gore, and kill Hector? Yes, before Hector, kill Lycion and Asteropaeus, when he cannot even carry the ash tree on his shoulders. You will hardly say so. No, he would make himself a laughing stock, limping under the shield, falling on his face beneath the weight of it, showing those squint eyes of his under the helmet every time he looked up, making the corselet buckle up from the hump on his back, trailing the greaves on the ground, disgracing, in short, both the maker of the arms and the proper owner. Do not you see that the same thing happens in your case when the roll that you hold in your hands is very beautiful, with a slipper cover of purple vellum and a gilt knob, but in reading it you barbarize its language, spoil its beauty, and warp its meaning. Men of learning laugh at you, while the toadies who live with you praise you, and they themselves, for the most part, turn to one another and laugh. Akinos tinin o Thersites, o Teutos ilavi tin Achilleos, Panopleon, I oti aftika diatuto ke kalos ama ke iskirosan genito, ke hyper pidicita menton potamon, epithalosi thef to rethron, to phono, to frigon, apoktini the tone ectoro, ke pro of two tone licaona, ke tone asteropeon, mi the ferin, epiton omon tin melion dinamenos, ucanipis, ala ke gelota an o fliscatni, kolevon ipo ti aspidi, ke epistoma katapipton, ipo tu varus, ke ipo to crani, opota ananevia diknis, tus paravlopas, equinus of toe ophthalmus, ke ton thorica aperon, to tu metaphrenu kirtomati ke task nimidas episiromenos ke olos eskinon amvoterus ke ton themiorgon of tu ke ton despoti to of to the ke si paskon ukoras opoton to men vivlion en tikeriakis Pagkalon, Porphyron, Menakon, Teen, Theoptheron, Krisun, the tone Omphalon, Onagignoski staff to Varvarizon, K Kataiskinon, K Theatraphon, Ipomen, tone Pepe the Manon, Katigalomenos, Ipo, the tone Sinondon, C Kalakon, Ep numenos ek ft prosalilus epistraphomene gelosos ta Πολλά. That was section 1 through 7, and I think that I'll start again in the next stream. There's 30 sections, so I might be able to do this in, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 sections. So thank you very much. I'll start again with section 8 next time.